Hello everyone, I am Shobhit Srivastava, a first year MBA student at IIM Ranchi, and I am here to share my VARC strategies with all of you. Point number one, understanding is more important than reading quickly. If you're one of those people who have always been quick and avid readers and you can blaze through a passage while comprehending it correctly, then you're in luck and I am sure that you will have a great VRC section. But if you aren't one of those people who can read very quickly, it's okay. It's okay to take your time because what's important here is that you understand what you're reading, and it is only through that understanding that you will get correct answers, which is the most important part in CAT. So my advice would be to take your time and focus more on understanding, and please try not to panic and give enough time to a RC when you're trying to solve it. Point number two, how many questions to leave? If you're one of those people who have VARC as their strongest section, I would suggest that you go all out here. CAT as an exam is about maximizing your strongest section, and that will take you to your coveted percentile marks. I would suggest that doing around 16 to 17 questions minimum will guarantee you a great percentile, barring an exceedingly tough or exceedingly easy paper. And I remind you of the old adage that if the paper is tough for you, it is tough for everyone else. Hence, trust your instincts, trust the strategies that have worked for you so far. To my friends who feel that VARC is their weakness or is a moderate section that they have, I would suggest that they focus on accuracy. Even if you do around 14 questions with an accuracy of around 80%, you will get 30 marks. Please remember this, and hence focus on accuracy. It is okay, you need 14 questions. You can find them, but the strategy is to have patience so that you can find them. Aim for accuracy. Point number three, beginning is key. In the VARC section, the reading comprehensions consist of around 16 questions out of the 24 questions. Hence, I suggest you begin with them. The verbal ability section often has questions that are just meant to be left, and you do not want to encounter them in the beginning of the exam. If you're someone who is confident in RCs, I would suggest that you go in the order that you are encountering the questions. If you want to select RCs and begin with one you are comfortable with, I would suggest that you take a maximum of 2 minutes to select the RCs and the order you're going to do them in. Point number four, time management. Assuming that the VARC section this year has 24 questions in 40 minutes and 4 RCs. If you're good at RCs and they are your forte, I would suggest that you do not care about the order and give 8 minutes per RC for reading and answering the questions. You should ideally be reading the RC, just reading within 3 minutes. If you feel like you want to do only 3 RCs, I would suggest that you take a maximum of 2 minutes in the beginning to sort it out, as I previously said, and take 10 minutes per RC. Now you will have 8 minutes for your VA section. Based on your strengths, you can begin with the parajumbles or the summary questions. I would suggest that you leave the odd one out questions out of the end for the end, as they can be really tricky questions and there is no surefire way of getting them correctly. Point number 5, how to solve an RC. Now, this is a very subjective opinion and I'm sharing the strategy that worked for me for RCs. Before I would begin, I would quickly look at the questions and write down the keywords that I would see there. This would help me focus on the parts where the answers were. I would skim through the rest of the passage. Another important point is that the first, second, and last paragraph of the RC are very important paragraphs, as they often contain theme changes and a lot of questions can come from them. Another bit of advice is that if you do not know the answer, it is fine. Please leave the questions, as guessing does not normally work in RCs, and that is a risk we should not take here. Point number 6, general tips for verbal ability. For summary questions, they are doable, but they can be lengthy. Hence, I would suggest that you quickly rummage through the summary questions and pick the shortest one. For parajumbles, I would suggest you find associations and relations between 2 sentences. Once you find that, the rest will start making sense to you. Another approach is to try to find the beginning sentence and then going along with it. For the odd ones out, I would suggest that you leave these questions for the end, as they can get really tricky. And I would suggest that you approach them as same as you would approach a parajumble. Try to make the entire paragraph and whatever is left is your answer. To conclude, I would say that stick to your guns. Enter the exam hall with a feeling of confidence and that you're going to ace the paper. Remember that VARC section is the first section and it sets the tone for the entire exam. Please realize the importance of RCs as they are the heart and soul of this section, and please do at least 2 RCs per day. This section is about maximizing your strengths, and hence it is okay to leave a question from a topic you're not good at, but in the questions in the questions you've always been good at, stay true to yourself and the strategies that you have tried out and give your best shot. Best of luck to all of you for CAT 2022. Thank you.